right? That's the goal.
The goal is to win.
You always win.
That's the
We're done
goal.
by 5:30. We got to win.
Good evening, goats.
What's up? What's up?
We are here live, brought to you by United First Medical Centers. No, I'm just joking. It is your Shepard, JC. I'm joined by two of the finest. I've got a Commissioner Rhino over here
Peace.
that's basking in victory, and then I've
I
got
don't know about basking, my brother.
oh, look, a win is a win. Then I've got
Yeah.
the one and only SOCAL, Bull, Wolfie, Nerd. So happy that he's joining us for this week 7.
Yes, sir.
Week 7 reaction. Gentlemen, I mean, look, I don't want to go on to a full on tangent, but I might. Please feel free to stop me. We hear a lot about like, oh, injuries. They're up this year. I've never seen injuries like this in my life. No, there's so many injuries. They're piling up. All right. Yeah. So again, first things first. I want the data, especially with this, because my contention is, fellas, that it's not necessarily higher than it has been in the past. That's just it just seems like it. I know, or a lot more of it happens at once, or maybe more of it has happened to the high profile players of fantasy and the NFL. But again, I want the data to tell me otherwise. I don't want to just hear it coming from every social media corner. So that's first things first.
And I think, to me too, I thought about this last week, is the fact that we have so many different, like I have 10 teams, 8 that I manage, 2 are best ball. With that many teams, you're going to have that many more injuries too. So it actually maybe intensifies it. If you have that many teams, you don't pay that much attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to look at the number too, but I mean, I think there was something like 40-ish QBs played in even more than that. Something about quarterbacks making a start last year was outrageous. I mean, the amount of guys. I mean, the fact that, and even now, right? It's the same. Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco, these guys having jobs. I mean, but I will say that it does feel like maybe the high profile, right? I mean, it started with the number one player over the last couple of years. I think that right there, the fact that McCaffrey was the main one, he's been out so long, it's the number one guy. So that has an impact. And what have you done for me lately? What's happened lately? That's always fresher. I can't even really remember. I know Richardson got hurt last year because he missed most of the year. But, like, it has left my memory the people that really missed last year due to injury, because it is irrelevant to everything going on right now.
Yeah, to that point for sure. I recall that stat line, or that nugget of information as well. But again, I want the raw numbers. This amount from 2023. I want that number now. I suppose we would want that number after the Super Bowl for this season, 2024. But back to, maybe it seems like it's a lot or a bunch because, like, the way the injuries are occurring at once. So again, another case in point. Look at this last game that just wrapped up. Yeah, Debo left the game, right? Ayuk left the game. Juju Smith-Schuster left the game. So, like, right there, I mean, like, we didn't necessarily answer that much Debo and Ayuk in terms of starting or sitting.
No.
This is how I want to tie it together. But we sure as hell did answer a bunch of Juju in terms of whether to start Juju or not. So, I mean, like, yes. he came in with a little bit of an injury designation. We didn't think it was that serious. The dude was not able to complete the game. I think we would be able to have a much better conversation, at least a much better debate. We would be able to debate it if he were to have completed the game, and whether it was a really good game for him or whether it was a really bad game for him, we'd be able to have a much more intelligent debate regarding it. However, that's moot because the man left the game.
Yeah.
So again, that's all I was thinking about in terms of, I know we're talking a lot about injuries. I prefer not to actually, but they continuously seem to be piling up on us. And then we're going to hear, then we're going to, tell me this isn't a pet peeve. Wolf, would you ever use injuries as an excuse for losing your matchup?
No.
I mean, you can't listen. If you do, then you know what? I still love you.
No,
I'm not going to judge you.
Not as an excuse. I think there's a room for context if you're, having a conversation. If I just say, I lost my main home, winners league, right? This is a cutthroat league, and I lost 140 to 80. I mean, I'm probably going to explain. If I miss, if I had Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel in my lineup, I'm going to state that. But I just chalk it up to, it's just part of the game, man. It's part of the game, right? It's just like the fact of like, oh man, like I wish I played Javonte Williams on Thursday night. But like, here's the fact of it. The teams that I have Javonte on, he'll never see my starting lineup. Like he's just not good.
Unless you have to
do this every game. Like I'm not putting him in over the guys that I have, right? Because I have Javonte because I drafted him deeper. I built the rest of my team better than Javonte Williams. Are all my teams like that? No. I've got some leagues where I failed in and I missed the mark. But most of my teams, because I believe I draft pretty well for the most part, right? I'm not winning championships every single year, but my teams are pretty deep that like I'm not playing Javonte. So it's like I'm not mad that I didn't play him. So the same thing. It's like I pick these players, I put them in every week, they get hurt, so be it. You can't use that as an excuse. It just doesn't make any sense because everybody deals with it.
Everyone.
Some worse than others. And just like pro sports, some teams deal with more injuries than others, right? Some go into the postseason. Hey, the Dodgers have probably had the most injuries of anybody in Major League Baseball, and they're on the cusp of the World Series. So
we're not talking baseball on the show.
This man, this man, he spun it right back onto the diamond, baby. That's why we love him. That's why he's called the SoCal ball nerd.
And I absolutely, with passion in my heart as a fan, hate the Dodgers. I have a Padre tattoo taking up all of my right calf. They broke my heart. But I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. Next man up. And at the end of the day, I mean, you just got to figure out for that week. Sure, it didn't help you lose the game or help you win. But who do you have? Do you have a Javonte who maybe has some better games? Do you have a backup quarterback? Are you able to trade because you have
Did you?
Those are the things that matter, right?
Did you claim Tank Bigsby off of waivers?
I have Tank Bigsby on.
No. I mean, no. Yeah, so do I. But I'm saying, like, again,
right.
Example.
And did you play him? And again, it all depends too. Like this was a great week for Bigsby. You figured Jacksonville would score; they'd probably be ahead. It worked out great. Now, if they find themselves behind against a good team, he's probably not going to be very relevant. So all that stuff just comes into play,
Without a doubt, without question. So speaking of that London game. Of course, I don't have a banner for it, so we'll just rely on Tyler Goat and Sniper to do the chatting and entertaining for us while I attempt to just go through real fast the Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars. First things first, word did come in really early morning. 6:30 Eastern, that would be 3:30 Pacific, obviously, but 9:30, close to 10 o'clock in London, that Travis Etienne was going to play. That was the That was the sign. That was the signal. Last night wasn't the signal on whether to put Tank Bigsby in or not, because you know what? We didn't know. But if you were able to get Tank Bigsby into the game, not Tank Dell Sniper, not Tank that got dunked, Tank dunk, but Tank Bigsby. What a fantastic game.
So the only reason that I played Tank Bigsby is because Jonathan Taylor missed again.
Okay, well, good enough reason.
So I mean, I'm Jonathan Taylor coming back this week instead of next week, away from not getting that performance. Just to add to, just a different variable, right? I mean,
but if it was a savvy move. However, let's say Travis Etienne would have played in the game, right? Then it would have been kind of like, okay, fine. You were banking on some sort of production out of Tank, not workhorse.
Specific situation, just to kind of look at it that way. If Etienne was playing, I would have played Bucky Irving.
Okay.
So I went to Bigsby because the matchup and everything, I would go Bigsby. But if Etienne played, I would have taken my chance with Irving on Monday night. You know what I mean?
Okay. I get it. Good roster, obviously. I wouldn't expect anything less. Rhino, we had a lot of Pop Douglas questions yesterday.
Good Lord, dude.
We had a lot of those.
No. Pop Douglas was the start. Drake May was the start. May was pretty. 275, 2 TDs. I mean, it wasn't pretty. But listen, the Douglas, he got sick. He ran 10 routes. I mean, you can't control that. And I had a league where I had Lamb on a bye. I had a few players on a bye. And I have Dak as my quarterback, which hasn't been great, but I mean, it's a 1 QB league, so he's all I got. And instead of picking up Andy Dalton, I picked up Drake May and Pop Douglas. I said, let me take the matchup. Let me take the stack. Let me go for the boom of these two guys. And it was a good call. It didn't pan out the right way. It panned out.
The process was right.
Routes, man. He was one of the most disappointing players as a great spot flex start that just was a letdown. But it is what it is, you know?
It is. It happens. Yeah, Pop Douglas did wind up disappointing. I wonder if Pop Douglas will be one of the most dropped players now that he was one of the most added players this week. Wouldn't surprise me.
Who do the Patriots play next week, and what teams are on a bye?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure.
I mean, that'll. If the matchup's not there for New England, you're not. It was a nice week. It was a great week for him to fill in on your team.
X. Tennessee put up 10 points with Mason. The Bills put up 34 points with Amari Cooper.
Welcome. The breakout game.
Well, what did we say, Rhino? What did we say? What did we say about that?
We thought that with Cooper being there, it's opened up for Keon Coleman. A little bit for Kincaid too.
And all of them, right?
Yep.
All of them. Yeah, we got Ray. Don't call me Charles Davis. Played well, ran well. They let James cook a little bit. I think we would all prefer James Cook to cook some more or cook more. Cook a 5-course meal as opposed to a 2-course meal, but we'll take it. We'll take the score, obviously.
Against a team that's been pretty good, too. Very good. A team that's been very good on defense and especially against the pass.
It's true.
You have to like what you saw from Buffalo's offense.
If you break in real quick, there's fear that Brian Ayuk hurt his ACL.
Yeah.
Well, he can't play much worse than he has anyway.
Yeah, no, he has a knee injury for sure. The severity or the type is yet to be determined, but he has a knee injury. And yeah, it can't get any worse. Guess who's going to be added again? But of course, we're going to temper this, folks, because Juwan Jennings is also injured to a certain extent, to a certain degree. This team is beaten and battered, and not that I. All right, fine. I will toot my own horn a little bit. I use the word attrition. Okay, I use that word often when it comes to football. Why? Because it sets in on teams. Just because the Niners were in the Super Bowl last season did not grant them free access back to the Super Bowl. It really doesn't grant any team access. The Chiefs just happen to be the Chiefs just are built in a different manner. They really are. But look at what is happening to the Niners and how injury plagued they are. So yeah, I use that word because it's real. It's real. It happens to teams. It's extremely hard to get back to playoff caliber, let alone Super Bowl game, Super Bowl championship. It's extremely hard. And look what's happening to this team right before our eyes. Yeah. In any event, let's stick with Tennessee real fast. Yeah, Mason Rudolph got the start. I'm not sure if they'll give the ball back to Will Levis. They called it an injury. I don't even know if that's for real or not.
An AC injury, right?
For Levis?
Yeah.
I'm not. Honestly, I thought they just made the decision to pull him and they slap an injury designation on him. That may not be the case.
No, I read, I think, AC injury 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, he had the shoulder injury the week before when they played Rudolph, but then they put him back in. But whatever. It might be an excuse. I mean, if he's not hurt, it's not good because this dude threw for 98 yards against the Colts, who give up a ton of yards, and then watch Mason Rudolph throw for more than that in the first half against a good Buffalo Bills defense. So, yeah, Levis right now, man, is not good. If it is an injury, okay, but I don't know, man. It might be a little bit of a cop-out, I think. But
I think so.
I think so. Terrible against the Colts. I mean, terrible.
Ortour. Yeah, no.
The matchup was there, you know.
Look at the Ortour goat. The Ortour goat. How'd you do this week, goat? Tyler, how'd you do?
So Tyler wants to know what to do about Cryer Dobbs is now. I don't think there is no true wide receiver one for Green Bay.
Sniper will give that answer. Sniper, she owns the Packers. Jordan Love
has heavily targeted him. You know, Jordan Love has heavily targeted Romeo Dobbs for the most part when he's been on the field. I mean,
he loves Romeo Dobbs.
The true number one, but
he loves Romeo Dobbs.
Got a ton of red zone. He's got a ton of red zone targets over the last couple of years. But like to Commissioner's point, like the problem is, even with that the case, they're still going to go for Watson deep. They're still going to try to hit Kraft. Like it's kind of like the Seahawks, you know, like Metcalf has his days, but there's other times where Lockett, JSN, Fant, like you're going to have those weeks. That's what's tough about the other guys is you don't know when to play them. And it just means that Dobbs is going to have some down weeks too, but
oh boy, the ebbs and flows of the season. I know that, look, there's going to be some people that are kind of like in a panic mode based on like, you know, what they saw last week, based on what they saw this week. Record is showing that, you know, oh no, I'm not doing well, I'm losing. There's a half a fantasy season left. I mean, it's not time to panic. Transactions will have to be performed, perhaps on your team. You're gonna have to make roster adjustments.
And a lot of point totals for individual players at the end of the year. You look back at Lamar, you look back at Josh Allen. They have a handful or more of pretty bad weeks. Like they, you know, but the good weeks, they go crazy. So, you know, it skews that number. And they're the best players, right? They're the best players at their position. Josh Allen going into this week, I believe it was 3 top 5 finishes and 3 finishes outside of like the top 20.
This was his best quarterback.
And, you know, that's half of your games that he's giving you what you drafted. Half of his games he's giving you worse than waiver wire production.
Yeah.
But you're playing Josh Allen every single week.
So
Yeah, I haven't been. I've been playing. I've been playing in my league. One of my leagues, I've been playing Jaden Daniels over.
So yeah, I mean, the rare occasion that you have a guy like that, but in most cases, a one quarterback league, you're playing Josh Allen, and so far you've gotten half and half.
Yeah.
Just to Sieg's point that the ebb and flow, like go back and look at everybody's year. Look at Lamar last year. Look at Allen. They've got 8-9 games that weren't very good.
We are not at the point with Josh Allen as we're with Patrick Mahomes. It's not that.
Oh,
it's
no,
not
no,
that.
No. This was just in regards to
No. I know what I'm saying.
Flow of each week.
Yes.
You know,
and Josh Allen is going to be that must start. Always start. If you've got, I mean, Rhino, God bless you. God bless anybody for that matter. If you happen to be like Rhino, that took Jaden Daniels somewhere after round 10 as your QB2, in a single quarterback league, yeah, you've got yourself you've got yourself a lot of bench points.
How's the rest of your team, Rhino? Because
I said after
tangent here, but
I said after round 10. I could.
Well,
that's a guess.
Probably about round 9.
That's a guess.
I mean, was where it went. But you also took a top quarterback early, so that means you didn't take somebody else there. So I'm asking because the leagues I have Daniels in, he's my only quarterback. So I didn't take a stud and then go Daniels. I went all in on I'm going to take Jaden Daniels in the 9th round or 10th round, right, and be my QB1. And obviously that's worked out great, But since you took a top quarterback, how's the rest of your roster? Are your receivers and running backs still strong?
Good. Yeah, Priest Hall. yeah. My, it's a strong team. Strong team.
Nice.
All right, so the Hunter Goat said that we told him to start AR, and he started Drake May. So if that was the case, then we got to take the L.
Yeah. If we're giving advice, we're just giving advice. If you have the gut feeling, you go with your gut.
We'll be fully transparent. I mean, like shit. If you heard us say AR over Drake May, and you went with Drake May, I'd love to know what made you go with Drake May other than gut. That's what I would.
The Jaguars defense.
Was it the right? Was it the Jaguars defense? Was it Drake May's rushing ability? Well, it couldn't have been his rushing ability over Anthony Richardson's rushing ability because they both have rushing ability. So I would love to know. Please let us know, Hunter Goat, what made you go with Drake May over Anthony Richardson?
When I ranked those guys this week, that's about where I was. That's how I looked at it. Was the rushing upside of May makes him a good spot start, but AR also obviously has great rushing upside and can break one. Obviously, the passing matchup for May was a little bit better, but I had May 17th and I had Richardson 14th or 15th, so I had him pretty close. But yeah, like I probably would lean AR too. Just he's got a little bit more upside. We thought, at least, headed into this game. And
you perhaps, having the couple of weeks off, he may have been able to maybe figure something out on the side. Maybe watching Joe Flacco could have maybe. Still, it's not like it's dead in its tracks. Like that could still very well take place. Because again, let's not forget, Miami Dolphins happen to have a pretty good secondary. Correct? I mean, the Miami Dolphins are no slouches out of this whole mess of a team.
And Anthony Richardson can't throw the football. I mean, he can throw a beautiful. He can throw the beautiful ones that, we talked about in the beginning of the year that guys can't make, but he can't make the regular throws. I'm listening to the game and they're like, are they going to let him throw on 3rd and long? Like, no, they're not. And that's not a good sign. So what you saw from May last week against Houston, right? He put up numbers in the second half and then seeing the 32nd ranked pass defense, I can totally understand going, May over AR. And that's a good trigger pull. I mean, if it was just like, okay, they're pretty close and I just like the matchup, I could see that.
Without doubt. Because here's the thing also, right, Wolf? I mean, it's not like we were it's not like we were not recommending Drake May yesterday either. So, I mean, like, again, like if it happened to have been that specific case, I think we were, we had justification for Anthony Richardson. Now, talk to us again in a few days. This could very well change where A, where are we ranking him? B, who the Colts playing? C, we have to look at what took place with Anthony Richardson, other than just like the regular box score numbers. And I think we are going to get to that, Wolfie. And
you're not playing Drake May in week 8. I promise you that.
All right. See? All right. Let's move on to.
They play the Jets. You're not playing Drake May. So on to the next one.
Let's go on to Lambeau Field, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean, Sniper basically just told us, Wick scored, right? Josh Jacobs scored on his first reception.
Yep.
Touchdown, correct? Yeah, Good for him.
He ran good today too.
Fantastic. He ran well today. Jordan Love played well today. It was a good game. Look at that. I mean, the final score by 2 points. The Texans almost beat them.
Joe Mixon had 2 touchdowns for the Texans.
Yeah, and I'm going to give credit here.
Stroud didn't do shit today.
I'm going to give credit here to Derek Brown over at Fantasy Pros. D-Bro nailed this. He was spot on. He said, look, he's not high on C.J. Stroud. If the Houston Texans were to lean on Joe Mixon, if they were going to lean on or rely on the running game, this was not going to be a good C.J. Stroud game, nor was it going to be a good game for anybody else. And Dell got tank dunked. Yeah, bad all around. Yeah, we put a heavy recommendation to start Tank Dell, and we had to take this one on the chin as well. Yeah, look, we're going to get more right than we got wrong, but we are, again, going to be transparent with the ones that we missed or got incorrect. And Tank Dell, again, like who
I didn't see that happening. Zero.
It does beg the question, and reminds me of another huge play that was coming up yesterday, and I kept asking myself, like, how are you asking us about Tyreek Hill? How are you asking us about him? How are you asking? He's a must start. Well, I mean, they must have been on to something, and I don't. Again, it played out. It played out with someone like Tank Dell, who did not score a single point. Did he have a catch in this game? I don't think he had a catch. Someone like Tyreek.
He had a target.
He had 1 target and went out of bounds. He caught out of bounds.
So I got Tank Dell here for 4 targets and nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's bad. Stephon Diggs. Okay. Stephon Diggs had a decent game. No, actually, it's not a decent game. I'm sorry.
Stroud only had 86 yards passing, so nobody had a decent game. Nobody had a good game.
Where did
86 yards passing.
So where was it? This was 2 Joe Mixon rushing touchdowns, and the rest must have came from field goals. Where the hell? What's the rest? Where's the rest of this? Yeah. In any event, the Green Bay Packers played well. Jordan Love again played well. Is there anything else to take away from the Green Bay Packers in 5-2? I don't think so either. Here's that Dolphins Colts game again. Reports are that Tua will be back next week.
Thank goodness, because freaking Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I think I saw him on my milk bottle, my refrigerator, as missing. Just good God.
The Jonnu Smith show, man.
Jonnu. Jonnu, this dude gives us Jonathans and Johns a bad rap.
And A-Chain had a decent game, too.
Jonnu. Hey, folks, thank you all for coming in this evening for the Week 7 Fantasy NFL Recap Show. Please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. It's the best way to support us. We're working hard, doing what we love. We're working, really for you guys. Entertainment value, give you some information, maybe take your mind off of some things. We're here for it all. Absolutely. We're here to help you win. I mean, that we're here to help you win. sometimes there are outside factors that go well beyond our control as well. Like Tim Boyle coming into the game, the third string quarterback. Now, let me ask you something. Why? I mean, I know the answer to this, or at least the answer that makes kind of sense. What makes us so freaking sure that once Tua gets back on the field, all is well with Miami? Why are we just going to presume that? Because it's not.
For the most part, he's kept Tyreek at a wide receiver 1, and he's had plenty of times where Waddle has also been successful. I mean, history tells us, most of the track record tells us that he can sustain those guys as must starts each week, especially Tyreek, obviously. But, again, he wasn't playing that great in that game that he went out in either. Bills are a good defense, but he had 3 interceptions that night before he got hurt. But I just think that,
yeah.
I mean, but look at the guys. Tyler Huntley has thrown for over 100 yards one time in his limited career.
I thought you were going to say Tyler Huntley has, in his game started 100 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's like when somebody said, "Oh, OBJ, played with Huntley in Baltimore." Like, dude, they played 10 snaps together, dude, and OBJ sucks. So
that's nonsense.
It's but anyway, Tua's just shown us, and the fact that decent quarterbacks can support star players. I mean, we talked about how bad Garrett Wilson was last year. He really wasn't that bad with the quarterback play. Tua compared to these guys is just night and day. And we've gotten zero production from these guys. A little bit from Tyreek last week, but you can't really go down. So Tua's an automatic upgrade. Does that mean Tyreek's wide receiver 1 on the week? Maybe not, and we got to see it to believe it, right? I mean,
I bet you if there's one dude that misses Tua the most, it's Tyreek Hill.
I mean, they play
Jalen Waddle.
We're going to find out real quick because they play a Cardinals team that gives up plenty of offense. So at home against the Cardinals, they should be able to put up some good numbers because, again, Tua's not coming back from an arm injury or a leg injury. He's completely physically ready to play football. It was his head. So there shouldn't be a shoulder possibility of popping back out, or a knee, or his foot, or Kirk Cousins, maybe he's not really ready to plant. None of that's an issue. So if he's ready to play football, he's 100% physically ready to go, and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are healthy, and this is a good matchup. So I think in most cases you're going to fire up Waddle and confidently do so.
And yeah, I mean, his presence alone just so the offense goes back to, week 1 offense, week 2 offense. The offense, the team gets the team is whole again. I wonder if there's just I don't think so, but I wonder if there's any type of psychological residual. We know there's neurological residual because it keeps happening to him.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that defenders, edge rushers or tackles are gonna they're not gonna pull up as if this was a joint practice in August. I mean, they can't do that. So I wonder if there's again, I don't wish it to happen. I just wonder if there's anything that could be perhaps psychological that takes place with him under center, but I don't think so.
For him individually,
I think it's just the DNA.
He just has to go down. I mean, respectfully, he asked for that hit, dude. The way he went down, you got to slide, bro. You got to slide.
No, he did ask for that because he already had the first down. But
I mean, he went right into that hit. You just can't do that, man. You got to just slide down and avoid that.
The goats do jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu. So, Rhino, do you want to talk about this game? in any way.
Deshaun Watson ruptured Achilles. I'll just leave it like that. But I was surprised that that brought Darren Robinson in before Winston. Why is Winston the number 3 quarterback?
Well, they made Winston inactive before the game, right?
Yeah, why?
So, all right. So that means, okay. So if it's not necessarily fantasy, but I guess it's worth talking about in the football world. If you're made or named, I should say, the emergency third string quarterback, so that means DTR was the second quarterback.
Yeah.
What happened to DTR?
He got hurt.
There's your answer. I didn't. Okay, all right. I didn't know that DTR actually got hurt.
You got to think that Winston is still the number 2 overall. I don't know.
He will be now. Yeah.
I heard. Yeah. Well, DTR's hurt for sure, but I heard some guys talking earlier this morning, and they were talking about like Cleveland just being petty enough to make this move because of the fans yelling so much for Jameis Winston. Like, okay, we're going to just make him the third quarterback and inactive, and then there you go. You're going to keep yelling for him. Is there any truth to that? Who knows? But, I mean, it is the Browns, and you probably didn't think Deshaun Watson was going to go out there and pop his Achilles out of his leg, which I don't know if you guys saw it, but that thing popped out bad. So, obviously, he is good. But I don't know. DTR was feeding Njoku as well. I mean, is there anybody outside of Njoku that you want in that passing offense anyway?
No. Not at all. Why don't we no, absolutely not.
Chubb found his way into the end.
Well,
zone.
that's what I was waiting for. Rhino. I was waiting for Chubb. A lot of Chubb yesterday, Wolfie, Rhino. We had a ton of Chubb, and the
who were people playing Chubb over?
I just told people not to play Chubb.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I wasn't sure how you guys went that route.
It was all over the place. It was whether to play him over anybody.
You had to be real desperate to play Chubb this week.
That's what I said.
And real desperate to do that.
That's exactly what I said. I said, look, if you're 1-5, 2-4, you've had Chubb on IR. You need points. You're looking for points. You might as well put him in and swing for the fences. If you're winning, if you have a winning record, you don't need to play Chubb tomorrow at all. Not at all. He may be on a pitch count. He was on a pitch count. He may get that bomb to the house, that home run to the house, or he may just get one of these small yardage touchdowns. He had 22 yards on the day and a touchdown. God bless the man. We'll see more out of him now come next week for sure. And Sniper, I don't know if it really is safe or not. Coming from someone with a neuro situation, okay? It's tricky. You know, it's not just him getting hit or his head jerking a certain way. It's how the rest of his body reacts to it. That's why you see him kind of go like this, because his muscles all freeze up. They unfreeze. It's really a powerful thing. So it's not necessarily I don't believe that Tua is walking around with a headache days later. I don't believe that's the case.
No, probably not. I mean, I don't know if you saw Nate Burleson on ESPN was talking about Javid Best, the guy that played for the Lions out of Cal years back, had head injuries, and he was stating that the thing with the head is after it happens, you feel fine. You don't really, like you're saying, see, you feel okay. And he's but then it creeps up later. And so it's and this is from somebody that, has dealt with it and walked away from the game due to his, head injuries. So we already know that you're more susceptible and it's worse each time. And he's had a few of them. So Safe, probably not. But from a pure football perspective and talking about if he plays, I mean, that's what we're talking about. But obviously, it's probably not the safest move. We lost Sieg there, but
no, he's good. He'll be right back.
But I mean, I mean, obviously, safe. If we're saying safe, it's probably not the safest of moves, but it's safe to play football regardless.
It's just a matter of like what he is susceptible to. It's not like again, he's just going to hit the ground by taking a hit. His neck is going to jerk in a certain manner, and something's going to misfire neurologically with nerves and muscles and everything else, and blood vessels and this and that, and how the body works, and it's extremely dangerous. So to answer Sniper's question, because she was actually she's asking you, we're just both answering. No, it's not safe. It's not safe. But look, he's cleared to play. He's cleared to play. He wants to play. He's cleared by his family. He's cleared by his faith. He's cleared to play. He's cleared by the NFL. Let's get. Oh, look at the Smitty goat. How did the Smitty goat do? Projected to win. Well, I mean that's it, man. We dropped the mic. If you're projected to win,
I'd play Flowers or Evans.
Smitty Goat, man. I feel like Smitty Goat taking this question from last night and punching it right into this show. Kind of, sort of. I'm projected to win by 23 points right now with my opponent still having players tomorrow. I haven't inserted my second wide receiver. Do I play Zay or Mike? That was the question last night. My opponent has Lamar at QB. Wolf, do you want to do like the kind of like let's negate points? Do I play Zay Flowers if he's got Lamar? Do I want to negate points there? Well, guess what? That does work, but it also could backfire. What if Zay Flowers isn't the recipient of Lamar Jackson's
Zay Flowers doesn't come off an injury all week too.
You know what I'm but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is Vita Vea playing? Is Vita Vea playing for Tampa?
Is Vita Vea going to be able to like contain Lamar Jackson?
No, but if Vita Vea is not playing on the defensive line, Baltimore will be able to run the ball a lot better. And that's my only concern is if Baltimore is able to run the ball really well, that it could limit Flowers. But on the flip side, Evans is coming off the injury. And it depends. I mean, are you a guy that thinks Godwin's going to be the guy? I mean, I have Evans and Flowers right next to each other in my rankings this week. And Evans is one spot ahead, and that was before he was missing practice. So, I mean,
he's up by 23 too.
And
going against the quarterback.
Right, you're up by 23. I mean, you probably in this case for me, since they're neck and neck, and he's got Lamar, then why not add that little bit of let me get what Lamar gets when he does throw it to Zay. And I mean, this dude had 9 catches in the first half last week, and he is the wide receiver one. Tampa Bay secondary gives up plenty to wide receivers. You got to think that he's heavily targeted, even if they do run the ball well, at least, in the beginning of the game. And Baltimore's defense is, pretty pass friendly too. But you got Chris Godwin on the other side. You also got Kate Otten that gets involved. I don't think you can go wrong here. Like, if Mike Evans plays and has 2 touchdowns, I'm not going to be surprised. So
I wouldn't be surprised either. The Ravens are a pass funnel. They're a pass funnel on that side of the ball. In the secondary, I should say.
I have Evans 6 and Flowers 7 in my week 7 rankings. I have them both super high, both top 10 players. I think you go with your gut. There's not a bad choice there.
I'm going to bar that term from all shows moving forward.
What, go with your gut?
Yeah.
Lions and Vikings.
He's barring that term.
Lions. That's what it comes down to. We're talking about 2 guys that I have in the top 7. And what else are you supposed to do?
I don't know. I mean, like flip a coin. No, don't flip a coin.
No, but go with your gut.
Go through the process.
Go with your gut. Okay, let's just talk about
we have had this conversation for sure.
Go with your gut doesn't mean like I feel like tacos over hamburgers. Like go with your gut means like I've looked at all the information that I like to use. I've listened to people that I like to listen to. I've looked at all the stats. I've been in the lab, and after doing all that, I feel like the right call is this player, and you live with that decision. And if you want the other way to I like to look at it sometimes, who are you more okay with going off on your bench? If Evans goes off, are you going to be more mad, or if Flowers goes off? Play the other guy. Like, you got to live with your decision. What makes it easier? And again, we're talking about 2 wide receiver ones on the week, in my opinion, headed into the week.
Good problem to have.
So, like,
especially being up, Smitty goat.
You play Flowers and they run the ball 25 times with Derrick Henry, and Flowers only has 6 targets. Like, that could happen.
Sure it could.
Mike Evans could get hurt and leave the game on one play. So
so I mean, okay, fine. What's the, aside from going with the process, if you had to make a decision, a choice, Zay Flowers, Mike Evans, which one?
I'm going Zay Flowers.
I think I would go with Zay Flowers also.
I'll play Flowers in this one with the specifics and the Evans injury news. There's no concern, and he's got Lamar. You're at 23.
And he's got Boswell tonight going against the Jets. The Smitty Goat, we will see you on Tuesday, Smitty Goat.
If you needed a big game,
we'll see you with the win.
If you needed a big game from one of these 2 players and the other guy didn't have anybody, didn't have the quarterback, are you playing Flowers or Evans?
Flowers does not leave my roster unless it's a bye week. Because he's always getting me points. Always. And always double digits. So I always leave Flowers.
You never know if they run a little bit of a gadget with him. He's capable of those. He's capable of that also. We forget. We haven't seen it yet.
Evans has been great outside of Marshall.
Yeah, I mean Evans is a Hall of Famer for sure. The only thing that's a thorn on his side, besides nagging injury, is the reemergence of Chris Godwin.
I was just curious if you needed upside and Lamar, different situation. If you needed upside and Lamar wasn't the other guy's quarterback and you just needed a bigger game, if you still felt the same. And Rhino feels the same. And I'm okay with that. I mean, like I said, we're talking about wide receivers 6 and 7, in my opinion, on the week. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, again, a good problem to have.
But sure. I like Flowers in this specific context, so we're all on Flowers, which means you should probably start Mike Evans.
Probably. We're all on Zay Flowers, just like we were all on St. Brown yesterday. We were all over Jahmyr Gibbs yesterday. We were also all over Monty Goat. We're going to be fully transparent and honest. Of course we are. Everything's recorded. It's impossible not to be. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs had that game, man, that we were waiting for. Amon-Ra St. Brown just showed us why you do not sit him. Jamison Williamson. Can never remember whether it's an SON or.
Why was someone going to sit Amon-Ra?
It was brought up because he hasn't been playing, because he hasn't been the one scoring. The knee-jerk reaction to now all of a sudden brings into question whether they should be putting Amon-Ra St. Brown in the flex, I believe it was. And I'm saying to myself, I'm saying to the caller, like, well, then why is he in your flex? Who the hell is in your wide? Who are your starting wide receivers if this is a flex question? Nevertheless, we saw a great game from him. Great game from Jahmyr Gibbs. Montgomery had an off game. It happens. He'll be back.
But the injury to Montgomery had something to do with both those things.
No, you want an off game as Jameson Williams. That's an off game. That's an off game. When Tim Patrick freaking has more catches than you, that's an off game.
Tim Patrick has been more involved in this offense the last 3 weeks. I mean,
yes,
Jameson Williams, the one good game he did have, he had one target, and then the second target he broke for a 70-yard touchdown, which is what he can do. But that's hard to depend on. I'm not saying you're putting Tim Patrick in your lineup, but he's heavily involved in this offense when they're clicking.
I'll be thinking definitely putting Jameson in my lineup right now.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean,
Turgway, I think there's a lot of people right now getting killed this week with all the skunk put up, with a lot of people just getting zeros.
But this offense, I mean, Amon-Ra, talking about that, man, I don't know, dude. I had JJ 1 and Amon-Ra 2. I mean, it didn't even matter what happened last week. I mean, it wasn't even a thought. It was not a thought. It was Amon-Ra was my number 2 wide receiver headed into this week. I mean,
just like you have to live and die with Tyreek Hill, you go and live and die with Amon-Ra St. Brown right now.
Yeah, you don't take him out.
And the only difference there is the fact that, like, it's still Jared Goff who's been good, and Minnesota's given up plenty of passing yards. It's not like, like we're not talking Tyler Huntley. We're talking still Jared Goff who can deliver the football.
Which he did. Which he certainly did.
Right. He was 18 of 19 at one point. I mean, the guy is like
it's playing
perfect right now, the way he's delivering the football.
Some of the best football that he's ever played.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold.
If the backup quarterback goes in for Amon-Ra St. Brown, then let me know. We might have, we can talk about it.
Sam Darnold didn't have a terrible game. Wasn't one of these like 3 touchdown Sam Darnold games. Did throw for 259, 22 out of 27, touchdown and a pick. Aaron Jones had a good game. Didn't seem very injured to me there. 14 carries, 93 yards and a score. Quarterback proof Justin Jefferson on 8 targets, caught 7 of them. Man doesn't drop a ball.
No.
Does not drop a ball. Here's the difference between someone that we draft in the 4th round, 5th round, like Tank Dell, versus someone like Justin Jefferson, who you draft in the 1st round. And it doesn't matter what quarterback is throwing him the ball. 8 targets, 7 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. What more do you want? What more can you ask for? If you're going to ask for more, it's kind of greedy. But if he gives you that every week, you should be thanking your lucky stars and hoisting the GOAT championship. Jalen Naylor contributed. That's not someone that was starting. I'm sorry. Jordan Addison contributed. That's not someone that I want to start. He's borderline for me, Jordan Addison. He's bored. It depends. It depends on the matchup. It depends on if you've got bye weeks, injuries. Jordan Addison's borderline for me.
So Smee has a question. He wants to know if you just take the tight end out of your game plan every week this year. Laporta is killing me.
Well,
he said, "How do you do that? How do you do that? How are the Lions doing that?
They're not. The game plan is like it's like a big like ha on you. They're jerking other teams around right now. They're like, look at all these weapons that we have. You don't know if we're gonna throw to him or not, and they're all bought in on it. I mean, like the Lions, they're all bought in. JMO's bought in. Probably took them 2 years to be bought into this game plan, this system. Amon-Ra's bought in. Goff, the 2 running backs, Patrick, they're all bought in on it. All right, so when my number's called, just let me know. Let me know when my number's called. I'll be ready. That's Sam Laporta to Ben Johnson. That's Sam Laporta to his quarterback. That's JMO right now to Ben Johnson. Just if my number's called, what's my number? Oh, yeah, right. Just let me know when my number's called. That they're all bought in, and you see it. You see it. It's showing up. So it's for fantasy purposes, my friend, it sucks because especially Sam Laporta, second round, tight end 1.
Well, and last year, I mean, Monty and Gibbs were, top running backs still. Amon-Ra was still a top receiver. Josh Reynolds had some great games. It's not like they didn't have weapons when Laporta was being a dog. Maybe they're a little bit more, right? They have Williams this year. They have Tim Patrick. So there's a little bit more spread out. But it's like last year they were pretty damn spread out and dominant too. And Laporta was able to dominate. So it makes you think like, why did he do it so much last year? And this year it's just not at all. But yeah, they're just a little bit deeper. And
I feel like they're more.
Line is so good. Look at Goff's completion percentage. Like he's just throwing to the receiver that's open. He's got time to see it. He doesn't have to go to Laporta. He doesn't have to go that read,
I think you could chalk it also up to again when I say bought in. They're also they're playing with all the, again. This is probably if you include Laporta, it's like the second season of this unit playing all together. They're cohesive. They're very skilled. And they're very unselfish. They have a head coach, Dan Campbell, that's damn near like the one of the best leaders of men in the league. And that's what you get now.
And the problem with the fantasy side of it is, Rhino, who at tight end are you, gonna be confident playing and sitting Laporta? Like you just have to hope he gets a touchdown, right? Like
Jadu.
Yeah, I'll be playing. Well, depends what you have. I mean, I have on one team I have McBride, Ingram, and Kelsey. So,
Jadu.
Most teams with a regular league in a 1 quarterback league have one tight end and no tight end on their bench. I mean, are you picking up Jonnu Smith? Are you even picking up Pat Freiermuth to play over Laporta? Like, no, you're not, because the upside of Laporta is still greater at this point, even though he's killing you every week. Like, you just have to ride it out. I mean,
yeah, you kind of have to ride it out. The position's not giving you anything that's going to be consistent enough. That's just basically what it comes down to. And you drafted him that high, so yeah. Hopefully it's not affecting your team that badly. I mean, I guess you could kind of try to stream, but that's just as of a crapshoot as just might as well just start Laporta. He'll get you. He's going to score again. He's going to get you. He's going to get you fantasy points. It was just another off week, another bad week again.
If you have Laporta or somebody like that, or an Andrews, hopefully you went and got Njoku last week or the week before, knowing he was coming back, because he was out there drawn by a lot of people. He's probably the one guy that.
Is Tucker Kraft still available? I have a feeling we're still going to be calling for Tucker Kraft.
And I don't even. I mean,
I'm just saying.
No, I know, but it's like I don't want to play Tucker Kraft over Laporta. I get it. I just don't want to do that.
Yep. In any event, how about them Saquon Eagles?
Good Lord.
What we say, even at Friday night we were talking about Barkley's going to be the Barkley game, and
it was the easiest call. Easiest call we could have made.
Yeah. Did Danny Jones get hurt? Or he got pulled?
Got benched. He got benched. And Dable came out right away at the post-game presser. He's our quarterback. He got benched. You know what? I'm not even sure why he got benched. I mean, like, look, let your starting quarterback finish out the game. Well, I mean, like, were you that hell-bent on putting in Drew Lock in that situation?
Yeah.
I mean, Jones should have finished that game. Nevertheless,
I mean, he had been sacked. He had been sacked 7 times. That might have, had something to do with it.
Yeah, that could have had something to do with it for sure. Absolutely.
Like, we can't even keep him upright out there, and we're getting our heinies kicked. We might as well just put in the second string guy and get out of here. as
Malik.
beaten as we are, right? Like Daniel Jones is our starter. He's getting his butt kicked.
Might as well
put
just
lock in, get this loss, and move on to next week. I mean,
Malik disappointed us because of not because, based on this negative script. You would have thought that Malik may have had a better game. Maybe his first game back with a 2-game absence coming off of the concussion. I don't know. Maybe just has to get back into rhythm. Or the fact of the matter is that Daniel Jones was never in rhythm with him. Same thing for Wandelius, really. I think Wandelius may have had a better game, right? How did Wandale do?
Yeah, he had 6 catches for 23 yards. I mean, but that's the last few weeks. He was at 6 for 34, 6 for 23. These short targets for no yards. I mean,
he's not, Wandelius is not playing like a wolf, is he?
No, not at all. But it's like, I mean, he had 9 targets. Neighbors had 8. He caught 4 of them. But it's like the quality of, 4 for 41 for Neighbors. But again, sacked 7 times, throwing the ball 21 times. It's hard to produce. I mean, Philly's been good to number 1 receivers too. So far throughout the year. But I don't know. The Giants just could not get anything going.
Nothing.
Offensive line just never stood a chance today.
Nothing.
That had a lot to do with it.
Nothing. Tyrone, 6 carries, 23 yards.
Yeah.
Singletary, 5 carries for 18 yards.
Well, they were missing their other tackle, right? Andrew Thomas, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, was out, and it showed. So that's something you got to look at moving forward. I mean,
for the Eagles, it was a good game for
Devontae Smith.
Well, forget about it.
But Hurts only had 114 yards passing yards.
114 in the air. He had a tush push, 2 of them. 7 carries for 22 yards and 2 touchdowns there. Jalen Hurts had a good fantasy game for you.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure. You'll take it however which way it comes. He had 3 total touchdowns, only 114 yards in the air. AJ Brown was the recipient of 90 of those.
And even AJ Brown he only had 5 targets, but he happened to turn those into 5 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown.
Devontae was somewhere.
He had 2 targets. The only other guy that had more than 1 target outside of Devontae and Brown, who only had 7 together, was Barkley. He had 3. No one else had more than 1. So wasn't a lot going around in the passing game.
No, not at all.
They need it. They didn't need it. I mean, and you don't. When you have Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown, sometimes you don't need it. That was today. So Devontae Smith, the vote was hanging around with Tank Dell somewhere. They'll be back. They'll be back next week. Negative 2 yards. Negative 2 yards.
Bad game.
That's right.
How about Kenny Skywalker today?
Oh, that catch was amazing.
How about Kenny Skywalker? What a great! I'm ecstatic for Kenny Skywalker, not just because of the manager in me, but because I feel like I've been on this journey with him for crying out loud since 2022 when I drafted him. Nevertheless, Gino had a pretty decent game. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards. Kenny Skywalker added that 70 on the ground. DK Metcalf left injured, close to 100 yards, right?
99 yards.
Yeah, again, another injury. DK Metcalf is as tough as they come. I'd be surprised if he misses any time. I really would. He's just tough.
They were ahead too. I mean, at that point,
yeah,
I think
Kirk Cousins played like ass today.
Yeah, he sure did.
He played like ass, but
Michael Penix got in the game.
Well, yeah. Why keep Cousins in there if you're down by that much with 6 minutes left? They start playing. They play a 3rd string running back too.
Same.
The only good person, only person that played good in that game. I mean, London got a touchdown catch, but Bijan Robinson went off. He had a good game.
He sure did.
I mean, I think a key takeaway for Bijan, I think, is that injury he had was probably legit. and they were easing him back in those weeks. And now you're seeing, I mean, today he was phenomenal, and they didn't hold back using him. So, you got to be happy for, talking about taking guys high and not getting production. Like, you got to be happy if you're a Bijan owner today from what you saw in the usage. And Kyle Pitts, Seattle's a good matchup for tight ends. Kyle Pitts had a solid day, and he's been more involved the last 3 weeks. You got to like that. 7 catches, 65 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to myself as a Bijan Robinson owner, manager?
It's about time?
No. You see, that's the first reaction. But considering what we've seen out of Bijan Robinson's usage, Bijan Robinson in his very short young career, can we make it 2 in a row? Can we get another game just like this? Let's not see Tyler Algier next week. Let's keep Tyler Algier at 5 carries for 36 yards. How about that? That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I want to. That's what I'm saying to myself. Yes.
And they get the Bucks. They get the Bucks next week. So,
for the love of God, I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, they're not playing fantasy. I get it. But come on. It's time. Let's use our best weapons. Let's use this is a specimen that we are going to utilize to win a football game. And it shows up. It actually shows up. You know who else showed up?
The Rams defense.
The Rams defense. I was going to say, that would have been my second choice. I was going to say, you know who else showed up? Another running back. And his name's not Zamir White. His name's not Alexander Madison. Kyren Williams. Now that's the consistency that I'm talking about, though, Wolf. This dude, yes, okay, fine. Kind of similar offenses now, right? Between Bijan's now offense and Kyren's offense. Okay. Kyren Williams has scored in like how many games now?
9 straight games.
That's what I'm talking about. And I saw Blake Corum get in the game. And I'm like, all right. Maybe they were coming out of the bye. Maybe they worked on some stuff with him. Maybe we're going to see a little bit. Here's that usage that we were talking about in August and July. I saw 1 carry. I didn't see anything else.
They talked about using him every few drives, as the season goes on here and there. But even then, when he was out there, he only had 3 carries in the whole game. The difference is when Kyren's out there, he gets the ball. I mean, 21 carries, and he gets the ball. You mentioned Bijan, 2 games in a row. Like, it's every game. Kyren gets fed, and he gets fed at the goal line. And he gets fed at the goal line.
But this is what I'm going to say, too, real quick.
Please.
Is McVay can't get his own damn way. Put Blake Corum in for 31. Put him in. He's a bullish running back. Kyren Williams has the most tackles behind the line of scrimmage in the NFL. Put Blake Corum in. He's bigger. He's a bigger back. And don't run up the damn middle. It pisses me off.
Blake Corum does have a huge upper body. I remember that at the combine. Dude, it's actually it's not very proportional either. Nevertheless.
Strong kid,
man. Rhino and I think maybe Wolfie would kind of support this idea. Like, we don't know if he's got like the entire like offensive play call down, like what the protection looks like whether he's got to hit this hole or he has to cut back this and that. He's still young as hell, and he's in a very complex. Let me add one more thing
to this too, is the fact that the person that has been playing left guard, the second string guy, because the first string guy is still out, Avila, he got hurt, so they had a rookie. A UDFA rookie out of UCLA playing left guard today. So that might have been the reason why they didn't play Corum that much. Because blocking, pass blocking and protection kind of runs.
Yeah, all that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so again, Kyren only ran, 76 yards on 21 carries. So it took a lot to get those yardage. So, if that's what's going on, you're not running the ball well. You've got young guys on the line, you're going to play Kyren. He knows what he's doing. And McVay's out there to win a football game, not to bring Blake Corum along and nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just you want to bring him along, but not at the expense of losing a football game. So
it'll be nice. It'll be nice having Cup back next week too, because that's going to open up the offense.
Oh yeah.
I'll even say with Whittington being back next week too. That they're missing Whittington today. That Stafford likes Whittington and he trusts Whittington. That's why he saw more. That's why he saw Tyron Johnson playing.
Yeah, he really likes.
They decided to sit him. He has a shoulder injury. They'd rather have him playing second fiddle with Cup next week because he's like a Puka Cup 1.5.
Yeah, so, Cup. Yeah, no questions asked. I mean, Cooper Kupp is in your lineup. He was in it today if they played him. I mean,
yeah, he'll be sitting my lineup for the rest of the season.
Just like we were talking about with Tua. Again, I have very little doubt that Cooper Kupp is not going to play on Thursday night, and his body feels great right now. Like I'm sure he doesn't have like an ache or like something pulling at him. And I kind of just like, it's just so unfortunate. Like something will take place, transpire, and it's like something like the body's just failing him, unfortunately. Like, and we're all like crossing our fingers and holding our breaths that this won't happen to him again. Like, you get it out of your system once, but it's just the human body. It's the human body. He doesn't work at a bank. He plays football. Goat. Man. We're gonna bring this freaking GOAT trophy home to you. I know it. About to be 2-5, half Cup next week. And Tua coming back for Tyreek. My starters will be Jaden Daniels, who, by all accounts, by all reports, is okay. Also, even his mom sent the tweet out as well that he's fine. All of a sudden, now the parents of these players are posting their kids' injuries.
Yeah, they didn't need Jaden Daniels to come back in that game.
They did not need Jaden Daniels to come back in that game. That's all jokes aside, they did not. Barkley, Monty, like look at this team on paper, man. Yeah, Tron Force is a force, a fantasy force.
Those top four are really good. I mean, as long as you get that consistent production from Monty, if Njoku's top 10 each week, I mean, it's not a bad lineup at all. Not at all.
We got one last game, gentlemen, and then we will wrap up. We will let everybody go watch the Steelers and the Jets and
the reunion, the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers reunion, and
what a joke!
And how is Justin Fields going to be used in this game since he's supposed to play?
What a joke! like Davante Adams is supposed to account for now a slew of like wins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a wide receiver, as if like the offense, like Davante Adams on the field now improves the offensive line.
Right.
I mean, like all of a sudden improve. Let's get Aaron Rodgers another weapon. Well, now you're going to be taking away targets from another weapon. I mean, like I'd love to see this experiment. I really, we're going to see this experiment. We are watching it unfold. And yeah, of course, the other side of the ball is just as intriguing. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Pittsburgh, 3-0. Chris Boswell. Who had Boswell tonight? Someone in here had Boswell. Was it Tyler?
I think
Tyler or Smitty. Smitty Goat has Chris Boswell.
So what's your takeaway of the Chiefs and 49ers game?
Patrick Mahomes is the best NFL quarterback and the worst fantasy quarterback?
Yeah.
Not the worst. He's not the worst, obviously.
Their defense is pretty legit.
Wasn't he a plus 450 anytime rushing touchdown?
I think so.
He's a plus 450 rushing touchdown. He hasn't done it in like a year. So that look, yeah, okay. And they still have like a very little weapons not enough weapons. Xavier Worthy's not that dude yet. He's not. Can he be? Yes. He's not that dude yet. Travis Kelce is the opposite end of the spectrum. Travis Kelce could probably be Xavier Worthy's father. So he's aging. Xavier Worthy's too young. Kareem Hunt probably, look, great addition, holding it down for Isaiah Pacheco. I don't know. Isaiah Pacheco comes back to this team. I don't think that makes that much of a difference. Doesn't change their ability to move the ball through the air any differently.
No, they run the football. I mean, Kareem Hunt, another 22 carries. It doesn't matter who they play. They want to run the football. They want to ground and pound. When their offensive line is healthy, they were doing that last year too. It's not like this Chiefs offense was really good last year. I'm not taking away from they won the Super Bowl, but their offense wasn't very good passing the ball.
Snipers calling us fools.
I mean, I wouldn't say fools. No, I mean,
only
maybe
she
now we'll see. We'll see how it works out for
only she could
Rodgers and Adams. I mean, it definitely doesn't help Wilson, but at the time, Devontae Adams wasn't there.
only she could insult us and get away with it and have no problem with her returning. Anyone else insults us like that, it would be a serious problem. But only Sniper.
The Jets are a circus. Aaron Rodgers is a
big circus
sideshow. All he cares about is being on Pat McAfee and
there goes Gary
and throwing his ex-coach under the bus. I mean, I'm not a Rodgers guy. To me, he's a clown.
There goes
clown.
Garrett just had a nice completion.
Oh, I'm behind on my TV.
Oh, I apologize.
It's okay. I'm turning it off anyways.
8-yard pass. 5, 6, 7.
Of course. Yeah.
In any event, and on the 49er side of the ball, hi, Isaac Gorendo.
I mean, Kittle and nobody else against a tough defense. I mean, I'm not going to give Purdy a full pass or just say that,
there goes Brees.
Find a way to make it work. But, I mean, this isn't the same Niners offense that we're used to seeing, right?
And they went up against a good defense, too.
Yeah, a very good defense. I mean.
So, just got a touchdown?
Brees.
Really? Sweet.
Yeah. So, the Niners, again, it takes us back to the opening monologue, whatever you want to call it. It's attrition, man. Look, they've lost their 3 top wide receivers, not to mention one of the best players in the game prior to the season start. You expect to ask this team to continue to compete at a high enough level to be in a playoff chase? It's asking a ton of them right now. It's asking a lot of Fred Warner. It's asking a lot of Chardavius Ward. It's asking a lot of Williams on the offensive line. It's asking a lot of all of them. Brock Purdy. It's asking too much right now. They're losing too many pieces. Hopefully, Debo is not as serious as Ayuk looks.
Debo had an illness.
Ayuk looks serious, though.
Yeah.
So, Debo, get him back in the field. I don't know about Jennings or not. I really don't. Ricky Pearsall. Let's see what Ricky Pearsall might be able to do for this team. Maybe that's like a Swiss Army gadget kind of sort of thing that they could insert now. But again, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot of a rookie.
Right. All of a sudden, you're asking Ricky Pearsall to step up and be a guy as opposed to having Debo, Ayuk, and Jennings. And Kittle still. Like
that's right.
You've just completely flipped that wide receiver core upside down.
I forgot about Kittles. How did I forget about Kittles? Sniper, isn't that your tight end?
I mean, Kittle 6 for 92, but I mean it was Jacob Cowing 2 for 50 was the next best, right? Pearsall 3 for 21. They ran the ball, 14. This is a team that loves to run the football, and they, 14 for 58 for Jordan Mason. I mean,
going against a good run defense.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
And no weapons. I mean, just the whole thing, right? Yeah. Good run defense, no weapons.
They have stats up during the game about all the running backs that they've held, like almost under like 75 yards.
The Chiefs,
Chiefs defense, they're just quietly legit, man.
Chiefs defense, I don't know about. They're legit.
Yeah, just L'Jarius Sneed was the system defensive back.
Well, I mean, like, he's a major reason why Tennessee Titans got one of the best pass defenses as well. Still, I would think he's got to be part of that.
He hasn't quite lived up to what he's getting paid to do so, but obviously, the Chiefs. I mean, the run defense is legit. Wow, Ayuk.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. That's it. It was reported serious. That's serious. And again, back to that point, though, Wolf, right? We weren't really getting much out of Brandon Ayuk to begin with. Yeah, does this suck because we were kind of hoping that it turned around, that it would flow from the ebb?
Yeah, and I mean, if you have Ayuk, like Ayuk in Dynasty.
Now you're not getting it.
Ayuk in Dynasty, now it's all year and into next year as opposed to just a bad draft pick this year in a redraft. Like
much different story. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I need a bounce here.
Well, we're going to take off. We are going to go. Rhino, I want to thank you, and I want to thank you, Wolf, for being here, for all the goats this evening. We will be back this upcoming Tuesday, so just probably like under 48 hours, you will see us for the Waiver Wire show, everyone. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe.
Hit the notification button.
Best way to support us. We really appreciate you. And I want everyone to enjoy the rest of the evening, enjoy the rest of the game, and that's it, right?
Yeah. Good night. Be good.
Thank you very much.
Bye.